Hi guys, how you guys doing? I want to honor this day because this would have been Allan Holdsworth's 79th birthday. He was born August 6th, 1946. So he was exactly 20 years and 4 months older than me, and he would have been 79 today. So all right, rest in peace, Allan. I want to talk about him a little bit, not just say happy birthday, would be birthday to him, but I want to talk about him since I have a chance right now. Like I've said many times, maybe too many times, I met him twice. The first time was face to face. He talked to me for about 20 minutes. I was the first one at the gig. He was second. He walked in with this soft shell guitar case, not even a hard shell guitar case. And he just walked up to me and we started talking for like 20 minutes. I talked to him about one of my music theories I had. I was talking to him about the pitch class clock. It's the chromatic way of looking at the chromatic. It's a digital circular way of looking at the chromatic scale, where zero's at the top and then 1, 2, 3 on the right, 4, 5, 6 at the bottom, 7, 8, 9 on the left, 10, 11. The 12 tones on a clock. And the reason it's called pitch is because you're not talking about rhythm. A note has pitch and rhythm. If a note doesn't have rhythm, it's just called a pitch. But if a note has if you play a pitch with a rhythm, it's called a note. So that's why it's called the pitch clock. And the reason it's called the pitch class clock is because all octaves are equal. Like in other words, if C is 0, then every C is 0. Every octave, doesn't matter what octave you're in. So the class of any octave of C is called the C class. So there's only 12 pitch classes, and so they can be formed on a clock, and 0 is at the top. You could write 12, but it's easier to write 0. 0 to 11 is better than 12 to 11, I think. But 0 is 12, but we call it 0 for writing on the clock for reference. And I asked Allan, what note should I make 0? And he said D, as in dog. Which turned out to be a good idea, because if D is 0, then F is 3 o'clock, D is 12 o'clock, F is 3 o'clock, and B is 9 o'clock, and it's symmetrical. D makes Dorian mode, which is the only mode of the major scale that is a palindrome, musical palindrome. So it's perfect to use D as a center. It balances the whole thing. And then 6 o'clock would be the G sharp or A flat, the tritone away from D. So to this day, he was right about that. And I appreciate him talking to me. And then the second time I met him, that time was in the Catalina Bar and Grill in 1997 or 1998. I met him a second time at something like 4th and B or something in San Diego in like 2003 or something. And that time I met him, there was a group around us. It wasn't just me and Allan, but that time I met him, there was a bunch of people talking around him and stuff. And I said, I broke into the conversation by saying, Allan, when I was a kid, I was your biggest fan. I knew every one of your solos, but I forgot them all. And he goes, I forgot them all too. And everybody laughed. He got the punchline. That's funny to me. So that's the 2 times I met him personally. And also the time that I met him the first time with the Catalina Bar and Grill, I actually requested a song during the gig. I yelled out in between songs, do you do requests? And there was no answer. So I said, Shallow Sea. That quick they went into it on my request. That quick. That's how long it took them to start Shallow Sea, right on beat. Right at my request. I think that was so cool of Allan to do that. Anyway, and then as I was leaving the gig, someone said, Jimmie, didn't know my name. They said, dude, that took a lot of guts. That's cool. And that I spoke out like that. Some dude. So that's my experience meeting Allan. Now, experience with his music. And I'm just going to say what I feel here. Allan's the only one that was doing something that is like what I want to do now in my playing. he never made, he never played, you never knew what he was going to play because he didn't obey the musical rules of antiquity. He did his thing. Every time he soloed, it was a new thing. And that's what I'm trying to do too. And I thank you, Allan, for doing that first, so that you could give me the idea to do it, and also make me realize that it's cool to do it because you did it, and also make it not so strange for me to do it because you did it too, and you were the greatest guitarist that ever lived. So it kind of puts something called precedent into play, where I don't have to bear the brunt of all of it, if I would have even thought of it without you, Allan. If you wouldn't have done your thing, I might never even thought of this. But also, even if I did think of it, if you hadn't done it, it would be harder for me because there'd be no precedent for it. And I thank you for setting precedent by doing, the unpredictable notes like you did. And I appreciate that. And so I want to wish Allan Holdsworth a good would-have-been birthday, 79 years old. Also, I heard that Allan lived in Vista when he died, and Vista is right near where I lived. I lived for a while. I lived in Escondido for a while, so not 15-minute drive away, So anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.